YouTube, what's going on? Scuba Steve, and I'm back. This time I'm going to answer a couple of questions. I'm going to answer three questions. Two of them had to do with the change that I made to the tank and the substrate in particular. And a couple of people said, hey, why'd you take out the substrate? I noticed that you had it like this one time, and then now, you've got it to where it's a bare bottom tank. And real quickly, guys, real easily, the reason that I did it was because I was trying to treat for a case of flagellates. And, flagellates, protozoal bacteria, they can hide, not because they're trying to, but they can definitely get into substrate and avoid the chemical treatment. And then they can come right back out, and then guess what? You have yourself another case of flagellates breaking out in your tank, and you've got sick and unhappy fish, and nobody in the hobby wants their fish to be sick and unhappy. So guys, that's why I took it out. Another person, they asked me, they said, doesn't the fecal matter and the rotting food, doesn't that stuff just break down and go right into the substrate and feed the plants? Yes, it does, but it's not an instantaneous process. And meanwhile, you're trying to feed your discus 2 to 3 times a day. I feed mine 3 times a day, depending on what your whatever your regimen is. You're trying to feed them, and they are anybody that owns discus knows that they like to go to the bottom of the tank and blow on the food, and then they like to lazily kind of go along and pick up food off of the bottom of the tank. And that's right where all of the rotting food and fecal matter is at. And this occurs unless you're cleaning up your tank once or twice every day. There's going to be fecal matter, and there's going to be some rotting food that's going to be at the bottom of the tank. You just don't get it all. And so it felt a lot better to me to know that I was getting everything out and that nothing was really hiding from me. It's very easy to clean. And so I switched gears on it, and I was like, I can keep plants in cups, because if I have a pathogen outbreak or whatever, if something happens inside my tank and I need to treat the whole tank, I can pull the plants out of the cups, pull the cups out, and I can replace the substrate that the plants are growing in. I can float my plants, and I can treat them, making sure that the treatment gets all the way down to the roots. I can do that, and it's really not a problem for me. What is a problem is trying to treat a tank with a substrate in it, especially a deeper substrate. And what's really a nightmare is trying to treat a fully planted tank. That right there is a nightmare. I mean, if you're adding fish and you add them too early, you pull them out of your quarantine tank too early, or whatever. I mean, that right there, if you think about, wow, I in order to thoroughly get everything out of here, I have to pull every plant, and I have to go through all the substrate. I mean, that right there is just a mess. It's time consuming, and I just didn't want to have to deal with it. So for me and for the health of my fish, guys, I did what I did, and that's why I did it. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm out.